I think the lists, the roles of agencies, the lesser valuation of women in putting lists forward, all of that bidding process, I think, makes this a particularly thorny problem. In an industry like film and television, where some of these, the biggest films are made and they're made on a project by project basis, and there's a lot of particular personalities at play. There's a key producer, there's a key director, there's a particular A-list personality who is needed to be part of that project to make it go. All of those things make it, I think, more susceptible to an old boys network, so to speak, being persistent and pushing through other efforts to address discrimination in that industry. It's not a traditional workplace, so to speak. People don't show up every day at an office and clock in and clock out or go to an assembly line to do their jobs. There is a lot of individual deal making. There's a lot of contract by contract work, as opposed to, you are an at-will employee of this company and you come to work every day. Compare that, for example, to retail, where employees are hired in and they do a particular job, and there's a clear job description for that job, and there are thousands of people in that job, and it makes it much easier to analyze the process by which, for example, pay is set, or the process by which promotions are made, or the process for hiring. This has come out in other cases where people have tried to use litigation to get at issues of discrimination in film and television. There's a spider web, right? There are studios, there are networks, there are agencies, there are guilds and unions, and all of them play a different role in navigating the process for making film and making television. And each of their different roles further complicates efforts to achieve systemic solutions to a systemic problem. In order to be able to diagnose a problem, you need to understand the process that gives rise to it. And the obstacles to opportunity arise from whatever that existing process is, right? How is it that things get done? I think that there's certainly room for leadership from the inside of the industry, absolutely. Anita may have spoken to you about this. She and I did a piece in Variety right before the Oscars, where we really focused on the industry's need to lead from within and the opportunity that the industry has to lead from within. And certainly studios could be right at the front end of helping to move an otherwise entrenched process forward. So before I was a litigator, I was an organizer. And one of the things I learned in that time, working on, in this case it was on political campaigns, moving an issue forward and overcoming entrenched and powerful interests, there are roles for all kinds of people doing all kinds of things. Every successful campaign relies on a variety of strategies. So the insider stuff really matters. The advocacy from the outside really matters. The reliance upon the media to push the issues forward, all of these things are critical to eventually seeing success. We know that nothing changes an industry more than having somebody in that industry held up as an example of bad behavior. That could be true in retail. It could be true in construction. It can be true in film and television. What will move the issue forward from a public pressure standpoint is for people who are consumers of the product, in this case, film and television, to watch their regular TV shows or go to the theaters being educated about what's happening. I think that particularly for this industry, developing a media strategy, using the media as a tool for public pressure, is perhaps the most effective sort of tactic for public pressure.